Camelot 331 here, and oh my gosh, guess what has happened now? GameStop has done the unthinkable. The unthinkable. We can kind of imagine, and we can kind of think, so it's not really unthinkable, but they have done it. They are punishing their associates and taking away a huge benefit that's going to affect their lives in the long damn run, and right now. Honestly can't believe this move by GameStop. It's actually pretty insane, and I really feel for the associates. They're going to have to deal with this thing directly in the future. And I also have a lot of stories to go through from GameStop associates that are kind of funny, some of them, and some of them kind of terrible. So just all around, everything's happening right now. So before we get into it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, doodle. It's really important, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't to the family, son. First message. I am a store manager at GameStop, and I had a lady come in trying to return an Xbox One and several games. This is already bad. It's already terrible, because returns are always scary. I don't know what it is about returns that makes people want to fight you in the face. They want to fight you right in the face, which is the last place I want to be fought. The receipt was taped to the console box. I see that it was paid for by a credit card and tell her that I have to put it back on the credit card. She refuses and says she wants cash. I tell her that we don't have enough cash, and even if we did, I have to put it back on the credit card. She gets irate and starts screaming that I don't know how to do my job, and I'm just giving her a hard time. And if she wouldn't go to jail, then she would beat the hell out of me. Thank God for jail possibilities. Saves a lot of us from getting beaten and stabbed in the face. I say, okay, that sounds fun, but I still can't return it without the card. She then snatches all the games and leaves. A few days later, one of my regular customers come in and says that someone broke into his car and stole his Xbox One and games he had just bought. He had the credit card and named off all the games. She had totally stole all of it from him. Luckily, I didn't return it. Still a shame though. The audacity of somebody stealing a bunch of stuff from a guy and then just going to return it to the place that he bought it at. But like the old saying goes, there's a reason why criminals are criminals, and that's because most of the time they're dumb as hell. Next message. One of the most dumb things that has happened to me at GameStop is I had someone come into the store with a new copy of Brink. Wow, what a disaster. And it's been like 2 decades nearly. The game that came out over a decade ago. I told him we could not return it at all because of how long it's been. And he didn't have a receipt anyway. Of course he didn't. He just flipped out and said we were robbing him, and this game was brand damn new. I told him no, it's actually over a decade old, and it's terrible. He looked really confused and just stormed out. Then he came back to trade it in instead. I see where this is going. I've been in this situation so many times. Unfortunately, it only got 50 cents on trade-in, which didn't make him much more happy. That used to happen to me all the time. Someone would be like, hey, I want to return this. And I'd be like, I can't return it. And they'd be like, can I trade it in? And I'd be like, oh, God. It gets $1, man. Man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that jail possibility exists. If it wasn't for jail, I would have got stabbed a lot. Next message. I had a guy come into GameStop wanting to return a PS4 that he bought the other day. I take it and his receipt and start the process. We talk back and forth about games and such, and I go ahead and start to unseal the box. He stops me and asks me why I'm opening it. I tell him that I have to open it to make sure it's all there. When I opened it, I noticed that it's just filled to the top with rocks. With rocks. That's it. No PS4. Just rocks to simulate the weight of a console. He then nervously laughs and says, gotcha! What? Then runs out of the store. I call the other GameStop across town to tell them what just happened, and the same customer was in that store trying to return it there. Maybe they won't notice that the new PS5 is made out of rocks. It's just made out of rocks. Well, you thought I was going to take your rocks, son? Rocks are not worth that much. There's so many damn rocks outside. And they can't play PS4 games. Which reminds me, one time, I had a friend buy an Xbox 360 from Walmart and then replace the innards of the 360 case with rocks. It still had the 360 outer shell, but there was just rocks in it, and he returned it. And they accepted it. Next message. A family came in 10 minutes before close to look around. Ooh. Oh, story of my life. The DL was at our store that night because it was right beside his house, and he liked to hang around because of the assistant manager. He obviously had a crush on her. Shocking. I'm not shocked. which is against policy, but whatever. The DL wouldn't let us ask the family to leave when we were closing. He was adamant about getting them a discount card. Said he didn't want us being rude. The family continued to silently look around till nearly 11 p.m., 2 hours after close. I had to pick up my kids from the babysitter, but he wouldn't let me leave. I would be terminated if I left, he said, because it's job abandonment. The family finally purchased a $3 used game and didn't want the discount card. I nearly died out of frustration. The DL was later fired for inappropriately touching associates. So at least there's that. There's a silver lining to this story. There's a silver lining to this story. What is it about district managers at GameStop just touching every damn body? Stop touching everybody. Even my district manager came up and hugged me. Very, very strongly all the time. Like snuggly. It was warm. That's not how I ran things. If there was somebody in the store, 1 minute past close, I'm like, hey, you best find something, son. Because you're getting the hell out of here. I gotta go home and eat spaghetti, man. I love spaghetti. Next message. One time I had a customer try to return a new game. I informed him that we did not accept returns once a game is open, and he could only trade it in. He told me that he played it once, even though it was 6 months old, and scratched to hell and back. I told him that there was nothing I could do, and this grown-ass man cussed me out in a store full of people before heading towards the exit, turning around and throwing the game case at my face and hitting me square in the face, breaking my nose. Jesus Lord. Another customer called the police, and I said I wanted to file charges, but I never had anything come of it. I'm a tiny girl, so it really messed with my head. Why is everybody throwing cases at tiny girls' faces? Why do you want to attack them first thing? They're so little. That's not right. Would I attack Tiny? Probably, but like not in a violent way. Maybe in a violent way. Probably in a violent way. Which is kind of a funny situation because you and I know both that GameStop will open new games and sell them like that. Like gutted games on the floor. They'll sell them like that. So how are you supposed to return it if it's already unsealed? Plot twist, you can't. Some stores put a little sticker on it to kind of symbolize that, but most don't. Next message. I'm a part-timer at GameStop. I'll never forget the day this mom walked in with her child. He ran all over the store and messed around with all the products. Pretty standard. Mom isn't paying attention right now. Time to F shit up behavior. It was nothing too crazy, but when I was ringing her up, this kid flings his entire body across the counter to behind the register where I was standing. He then proceeds to start licking my elbow. I had no idea what to do, and I knew I couldn't touch him or push him off in any way. So I just looked at the mom hoping she would do something. And she just laughed and said, oh, he does that sometimes. Thankfully, there was lots of hand sanitizer and soap readily available. But yikes. What the hell? What if that happened right now? In these crazy times. You would just melt. You would just burst into flames. And the kid would too. The kid probably deserves to burst into flames. I don't like children. Burst them all into damn flames. Especially if they're trying to lick my elbow. That's weird. I feel like I'd go to jail or something, like right after. Next message. This is a long story, but one of my favorites to tell because it was so nuts. I worked at a GameStop that often had really big sales. We had been encountering issues where people would buy up almost all our stock of one item. So we had put limits on things per family. This particular week, we were selling PS4 controllers at a really, really low price. And these two women, who were shopping together, had twice the limit. I didn't see it right away, so I gave them their total. One woman, let's call her Joan, proceeds to hand me handfuls of homemade coin rolls to pay for her bill. I'm talking nickels, dimes, and quarters, and they're rolled up in paper, so there's no way of knowing how much is in each roll. As I'm trying to mentally deal with the fact of counting all these coins, her friend, let's call her Betty, adds 2 more PS4 controllers, which puts them beyond the limit. I apologize and explain to them our rule. They both start to lose their shit. While they're yelling at me, I call for my manager to come over. As I'm waiting for him, I'm still counting out Joan's change. My SL comes over, explains the rules, and then walks away. I finally finish counting Joan's change and she still owes another $2. She doesn't believe me and asks for a recount. I wanted to cry at this point. Then Betty says, you know, I ought to slap that smart-ass mouth of yours. Jesus Christ. I look up and I'm like, excuse me? And she says, I ought to smack that look right off your damn face. Damn, son. That was my absolute effing limit. I looked at her and said, that is a threat of assault, and I'm no longer going to serve either of you. I locked my register, walked away, got my manager, and went straight to the break room. I later found out that my manager sold them the product, and they allowed me a whopping 5 minutes off the register before I had to come back. In short, I got threatened with violence over effing PS4 controllers. What the hell is life? What is it that makes customers so violent towards people that work at retail stores? Why they want to slap the face off of them? Why they want to slap their face right the hell off? I don't understand, and I don't see why you think it's okay to slap people that you don't even know. Stop going out in public, old people and middle-aged white women and everybody else. Next message. This is the message where GameStop is destroying their associates, completely punish them for things that are out of their control, completely out of their control, and they're punishing the associates. What is it they're doing? What is it they're doing? It's a small coverage. It's a small change that no one is going to know about except for you watching this video right now, because no one's going to cover this. Let's take a look at it. Next message. So I work at GameStop and have been off for nearly 2 months because of this epidemic. I got a letter in the mail that my health insurance was getting canceled because I haven't worked an average of 30 hours in the last 12 months, which I worked no less than 32, but the lockdown had me off. So I'm losing my health insurance for no reason. Basically, I called my HR department and they said there was nothing they could do. I really rely on that, so I don't know what to do. Now think about this for a second. Think about this, okay? You work 32 hours for 10 months, and then you work 0 for 2 months. That's going to bring your average down below 30. So this could be true, correct? Well, look at this letter that was sent to several associates that they sent me. This is the letter they sent. Each year, GameStop reviews and adjusts our benefits plan to align with practices of other employers, general health and welfare plan trends, and legal regulations to keep our plans sustainable for the future. As a result of this activity, GameStop has made the decision to utilize the rules defined by the Affordable Care Act for employers to determine benefits eligibility. In line with these requirements, GameStop will provide benefit coverage to part-time associates who worked an average of 30 hours per week over the previous 12 months, meaning this is an SGA, a third key. Right here it says immediate impact to you, these GameStop associates. Our records show that you are currently enrolled in benefits coverage through GameStop. According to our records, you did not work an average of 30 hours per week over the past 12 months, and therefore are not eligible to enroll in benefits GameStop during the 2020 and 2021 year. So there you have it, right there. They didn't work the 30-hour average because they've been closed for 2 months. So they canceled their health insurance, and they can't get it back for another year and how many months. That is crazy. They just took it away. There's no leniency or leeway because the store's been closed. Nope, you just lose your health insurance. What if you have kids that are in the hospital right now, or need to go to the hospital, or need to go to the doctor? You're screwed. And they just pulled it illegitimately, completely illegitimately. And this is things that I'm sure a lot of people are dealing with right now, and their companies don't give a damn. They're just dropping them. They're like, well, get the hell out of here. We don't need to help you in any way, shape, or form, or spend any money that they don't feel like they have to spend. They don't feel like they have to spend. Walmart did a vote for investors recently, which is the same kind of situation. They did a vote for investors recently, voting on the prevention of harassment in the workplace, if they should strengthen it and overhaul the system and make sure it works for everybody. And the board recommended they vote against it. Are you shitting me? In 2020, to vote against the prevention of harassment in the workplace. Undamn believable. So GameStop continues to blow our minds and pretty much handle every situation as poorly as they possibly damn can. If you have a GameStop story or any other story, send it to me on Twitter or Instagram. Follow me on there. And share this video with everyone so everyone can know that they have a voice. And we're not going to let these companies drag the damn sacks on our face anymore. So if you like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe and all that good stuff. And also, don't forget to get on it. Doggone it. Bye. Yeah. It's a secret for a future video. And you'll never be able to guess it. Big Mike can guess it.